Hi, how are you? My name is Bob Foster. If you've seen one of my videos before, it may have been from the series called Singing Through Throat Cancer that I started last, I believe, July of 2024. And it's been almost a year now since I found out that I had oropharyngeal cancer, which had moved from the base of my tongue out to a lump, a lymph gland in my neck. I have a frog in the background. It's going to sing along with us. and then went through the process of being set up for radiation and chemotherapy. And I finished my treatments in mid-September 2024. We're now 9 months later. It's Father's Day. I just drove myself down to the Dairy Queen where I met up with my wife and son, and I had a banana split, and life is good. So I don't believe in cliffhangers. I'm not going to ask you to watch to the very end of the video to find out something remarkable. I would like to say that I saw my oncologist last week, and he said the words cancer-free. So everything is looking good. But then I think I should tell you the rest of the story, especially for those who followed the first 7 or 8 weeks of my going through the process and the recovery. But before I do that, I would like to give a bit of a shout out, because this isn't something that you do by yourself. It involves your family, it involves your community, it involves your friends. And there are a lot of things, well, and it certainly involves the hospital staff, which are really quite an amazing group of people. So there are things that you simply can't do by yourself. And it is a matter of trusting others, of asking for support when you need it, that sort of thing. I'd like to begin the shout-outs, though, to a friend. His name is John Wright, John Leslie Wright, if you're looking for him on Facebook, and I would recommend that you do. To make sure you've got the right John Leslie Wright. He was born in Trenton. He lives in Mississauga, and I believe he was educated at Queen's University. John is a writer, a former teacher, and now he writes regular articles for Facebook. I would say, if anything, his style is a little bit of Stephen Leacock mixed with a whole lot of John Wright. And John has been diagnosed with liver, kidney, and pancreas cancer, all very serious, and yet it hasn't stopped him. And so if you'd like to see the course of his journey and that persistent humor, check out John Leslie Wright on Facebook. I also like to say thanks to the people in my music group who have been supportive all the way through this, especially to those in the music group who have gone through cancer themselves or are still going through it, to Giselle, to Betty, for your knowledge and for outlining the path for me that I have had to follow over the last 9 months. And of course to my wife, Tana, who was there with me every single step, Aaron. And there were so many 5 o'clock mornings that our cell phones rang with the alarm, and we had to get ready and made the hour-and-a-half trip down to Kingston, and then spent sometimes up to a full day there, and then make our way back. And last year saw well in excess of 40 visits to Kingston back and forth. Also to Gord, who helped with some of the driving to relieve things for Tana occasionally, and that helped out, certainly. And to the medical staff led by Dr. Korzanowski. You don't just get an oncologist, you get a team, and the people in the team are all very important too. The nurses who you see on a regular basis, the dietitian, the physiotherapist, all of the people who are involved in your treatments, and there's an incredible staff to do that. Now, I was looking forward to the usual pattern of all the radiation and chemotherapy treatments, and then things getting worse for a couple of weeks and then getting gradually better after that. And a complication arose in my life, partly because it turns out that people who are 77 years old, and this was pre-diagnosis of cancer, but if you're 77 years old, you shouldn't be messing around with picking up golf cart batteries that weigh over 70 pounds. And so I heard the crunch, and 4 of the vertebrae in my spine were fractured and compressed. And I had back pain, but I didn't know what had happened. And so I ended up going through being on the table for radiation many times, like 35 times, and on and off different MRI tables through a long period, and my back just got worse and worse. So eventually, come late fall and going into the Christmas season, I was at a stage where I couldn't even get in and out of bed, and I had to sleep in a reclining chair that would tip me forward and get me out and started in the morning. Walking was difficult, standing very difficult, and I was using a cane, and I did see a specialist for my back. Was given the information that if I had a kyphoplasty, that's injection of cement into the hollow spaces in the vertebrae, that my chances of recovery were about 90%, and if I left it alone to heal naturally, my chances of recovery were about 90%. So I opted for the natural healing. Things have progressed well. The cane is gone. I'm walking, though I can't walk very long distances without getting very painful. But I am walking. I'm back to my activities with my music group every Thursday, where we sit in a circle and each take turns playing music. Excuse me, I'm driving my own car, and things are going well. So the story of my recovery over these 9 months is probably quite different than the story of another person, perhaps someone watching this video. You may go through a much better pattern and with much less disability if you're dealing with the cancer treatment alone, instead of this added thing that I got played an extra card and it didn't work out well. So there's that. I think you would probably want to know what's happened with symptoms, and the changes to, I should start, I guess, with saliva, because saliva cleans your mouth and allows your taste buds to regenerate, or at least they do so at the same time, according to my doctor. And the saliva is not great. That's why I'll be sipping a cup of water as I go through this. If I get up to sing a song, I sing one and I take a sip. Get all around through my mouth, moisten everything up, and then I can sing again. Sometimes I use a little spray bottle full of water. That works just as well. And that's because I'm not able to generate saliva on my own in any worthwhile quantities. Even if I keep my mouth closed and try to just use the saliva that I have there and don't do any talking or anything else, there's usually not enough of it. So I have to keep water nearby. That, I understand, will improve anywhere up to the 12-month mark, so it has 3 months more to get better. The corollary of that is that you need the saliva working in order to get your taste buds working. And I think I've already described in other videos that my particular perceptions with the radiation were that it was twofold. It was the loss of a sensation for the tastes that I used to associate with foods, and it was also something to do with the texture. So even if I had water, it would taste thick like oil. Anything that was fairly neutral in taste, like bread or noodles, something like that, would taste like chewing fat, and not fresh fat either. It tasted pretty bad. And gradually those things I think are getting somewhat better. So it was Father's Day today, and I went out with my wife and son, and I enjoyed a banana split at Dairy Queen, and I enjoyed it. The banana didn't taste quite the way a banana should, but it was still good enough. So I can be happy for that, for sure. So there's that. There are other things. I'm not able to grow a beard back at this time. The hair is thinned out. That's a very, very minor issue. The weight loss is kind of interesting because you can expect to lose a fair bit of weight when you're going through cancer treatments, through loss of appetite and so on. And I lost 35 pounds. Took me down from 205 to 170. I think I'm sitting about 173 right now, and I'm not anxious to gain a lot more weight back on because with the difficulty with my back, it's just easier not to be carrying a lot of weight. So that seems to have worked out quite well. As far as the road ahead goes, what I'm looking forward to is with my back healing, getting more active and building up my body again. Again, for somebody who didn't have the spinal condition, then probably, if that were the case for me, I think I would be in much better shape right now. My muscles built up because they're, unfortunately, along with all of this, there's a fair bit of muscle atrophy. And so my legs are skinnier, everything else is skinnier than it used to be, and they need to be built up again. As far as diet goes, I would like to work towards a regular diet, but there's some things that just don't work well right now. Fortunately, my dietitian, who recommended Boost, gave me a prescription for it, which is better than running out and buying a six-pack for $15 or something a day. And so I've had Boost available, and I'm now down to, in any particular day, that might be half to 3/4 of my nutrition. It's got a lot of the basic stuff and some protein and vitamins and everything in it, so that helps a lot. And I find that I can't eat meat. It tastes bad and it gets stuck in my throat. And I'm talking about even the little wee bits of chicken that you might get in chicken noodle soup, canned chicken noodle soup. Not great. But I can eat other things and enjoy them, and some of them with a fair bit of roughage. Last night I had some celery stalks with peanut butter in them, and you would think that might be tough, and I did have to wrestle with with making sure the celery was well chewed. But other things like grapes, for instance, I can squish them and taste them, but I can't swallow them because the skins get caught. The whole area of my throat is what they would classify as post-radiation treatment typical, which means that it's lumpy and bumpy, not as smooth as it used to be, and so things do get caught in there. I have a boat-tailed grackle who's just landed about 5 feet above me over there in the bird feeder. We'll hear if he starts his grackling noise. So all of that is good. One of the themes in the videos that I did so far is about singing and what happens to your voice. And my voice, I think I started noticing more around January when I was getting mobile, getting to a place where I could go out to the sing-songs with my music group again. I tried some of the songs, and like anybody who does singing, I had a wide catalog of songs that I sing, and all the chords written beside them, and none of the chords worked anymore because my voice had gone down in pitch so much. I estimate it to be about 3/4 of an octave, so on a piano it had gone down about 6 notes. And I saw a specialist about that, and he said that it happens very frequently post-radiation treatment. A lot of people don't notice it, but if you sing and that sort of thing, you're really going to notice it. And so it's because the the cartilage and the muscle fiber and everything, the ligaments, everything that holds that portion of your throat in place and pulls the vocal cords so that they can get to higher pitches. It's all been weakened, and there's a possibility it'll come back. There's a possibility it won't, in which case I'll be singing bass in all the barbershop quartets. I will try to attach a recent video of myself singing to the end of this tape, as I have done with all the other Singing Through Throat Cancer episodes. And so, my advice to someone else who's going through this, you were used to your life as version 1 of yourself. And you knew your capabilities, and everything probably was going fairly smoothly. You're going to go through a rough time while you have the treatments. And having people who have gone there before you to sort of explain what might and might not happen and understand as you go through them is a real big plus. After that, you will emerge as version 2 of yourself. So if I go back and look at old pictures, I had a nice fluffy beard, I had a lot more weight on, my hair was down to my shoulders. I don't have that anymore. My beard is so thin that I just have to keep it at, a couple of days growth, otherwise it looks straggly. The hair is off my shoulders because all my hair disappeared from about there down through the radiation, and it's just easier to keep it this way now. And when you get to it, the beard and the hair, they don't matter that much, do they? Right? Not really. Although I see it's out of place. So what do you have to look forward to? You have a journey, and at the other end of the journey, all I can do is wish you the best and hope that your version 2.0 of yourself enjoys good health, good friendships, good family relationships, and that things continue on, and that you get to have basically the extra time in your life that medical science can now provide. It's a wonderful thing that they can. We certainly need to appreciate it, and I know that I do. So thanks for watching this video. I'll conclude with just some kind of music to show that my voice is still working, even though it's different. And I appreciate your following along with this series. If things change, I will probably do another episode, perhaps in 6 months, to tie the whole thing up. If they do not, then this is how I am now. I'm very grateful for the life that I have, and I wish the best to anyone else making this journey. Thanks again to friends, family, and wonderful medical staffs. Has anybody here ever heard of the arrogant worms?
No.
Yes.
L? Yeah.
Okay, a couple of people have.
Yes.
What's the name of a group?
It's a Canadian singing group, but they just do comedy music.
Oh.
And the neat thing is that every once in a while they come up with they twist an idea around. Like there are songs about vegetarians complaining about meat eaters. So they took the vegetables side and they wrote a song called Carrot Juice's Murder.
That's funny.
Anyway, they come up with some interesting ideas, and given all the fuss with the U.S., I thought I'd do this one. Once I get myself right here. It's going to be G. I am not American, though I live in North America, which is part of the Americas, which should make me an American. And geographically, Canadians are certainly Americans, as are Venezuelans, but not Hawaiians. They're out in the middle of the ocean, just like the U.S. Virgin Islands. You really shouldn't say they are Americans, or even Virgins. How could two whole continents lose their name to just one constituent? Where were we when the U.S. went and took the word American away? But to be fair to them, their other name options, like U.S. heirs and United Statesians, were pretty bad. Still, I want to be as American as the French are European, or those in Antarctica are Antarcticians, even if they're just penguins. And that leaves us Canadians as northern North Americans. But Alaska's northern, darn them. We're surrounded by Americans. I just call those USAers Americans. A name meant for two continents, not just them. For if I said I was American, people would probably think I was from Maine. Still, I think I have a plan. Let's become Antarctican and join up with the penguins. For just like them, we're not Americans.